Oof, right. Hi guys, Figure-Boi here, back with a different kind of video, and today I thought I'd do a bit of a, reflection on the new Ahsoka show. So the first two episodes have come out. Sorry for the long pause. See that's what it's like to watch. Ahsoka, because it takes ages for them to finish their conversations. But anyway, I was just saying, like the first two episodes, obviously out on Disney Minus. So, of course, I watched them on the release day. I didn't put them off. When it comes to Star Wars, I kind of just like to get like straight into it, mainly because like Star Wars is like one of my favorite things ever. And I feel like I have been semi lenient towards a lot of the new like sequel stuff, and like some of the stuff that's actually more like positively received, like you know uh, Rogue One and or I don't ironically don't enjoy as much as some of the other products that they've come out with. So here we are. Here are some pictures, and that's probably because unlike you know like Mandalorian and like a Boba Fett, etc., etc. You don't you have to keep your brain turned on. You can't turn it off. You see, so it's more so for smart people. So even though I would say I'm reasonably intelligent, so I'm not smart enough to appreciate that kind of Star Wars content. Other than saying, Jyn Erso is fit, so it's literally Rogue One. It's all the Vader scene. So I need to watch Rogue One again. Especially after watching all these like kind of mid shows and movies. In this new Star Wars saga or whatever. So I want to give my own opinion like on this. Like I don't want to feel like I'm regurgitating other people's opinions, like based off YouTube channels I've seen, or 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 stuff like that. So I'm gonna say what I think, right? So I'm starting to think that it's especially when it comes to Ahsoka, it's clearly become an obsession on Filoni's part to literally try and have her be there in different points of like Star Wars history. Like we get it, like Ahsoka's cool and all, but I feel like she's something of the Clone Wars like era, if you know what I mean. Like they forced her into Rebels and all that as well, but it's like to me, when someone brings up Ahsoka, I usually just associate it with the Clone Wars and that's it. So I kind of agree with like George Lucas, if he's even said it about like, you know, Ahsoka being like one of the ones that was wiped out during Order 66, because it's come to a point, right, like even I'm starting to think like, with all these, I feel like they're constantly just inventing like new like Jedi characters, like that have survived Order 66, like Kanan. You had Archie Andrews from Jedi Fallen Order, or whatever it's called, Cal Kestis. And who else have you had? I'm just trying to think. Well, I'm sure there's a ton. I imagine there's some in Legends, but imagine if they did have characters like that. I imagine it wouldn't have been so straightforward. I doubt like they came like far and I don't even know what the phrase is now. I mean, like very far between. So I need to be careful going through Google Images because I don't want to bring up any spoiled images or anything. But as for the actress I can't pronounce her name. Sorry. I know her last name is Dawson. I don't want to mess it up. But does it say here? I want to make an effort to pronounce it. I don't think it says. I don't think it says it. Was it Rashara or something? Something Dawson. Anyway, whatever the case, I don't think she makes for a good Ahsoka for like numerous reasons. Like, with a lot of the characters that appear in this, because obviously the characters like come from, you know, Clone Wars and Rebels. Like a lot of them mostly come from Rebels. Like, so you've got, you know, Sabine. Woo woo. Sorry, I'm not even going to attempt to do a whistle. I might get arrested for it. I might be put in space jail. But so I don't think that counts. Like me doing like an owl impression, like trying to hoot. I mean, it's late as I'm recording this. And as for Hera, like, because Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I don't know who's playing Sabine, but I think she's new to the scene. Ah, that rhymed. Yeah, she's wooden. She should just. They literally do feel like cardboard cutouts. Like, even I was thinking that, like, the other, you know, after I watched this, I was like, you could just have like cardboard cutouts from like Forbidden Planet, and they'd fit in just fine. So I'm just like, it's just like another point that I've seen people be making about Filoni is his tendency to, you know, retcon things. So, like, Sabine, let's bring this picture up. So, just look at that. What is that? What is that? What is that? What is this? Oh, I feel physically ill when you actually like pause and look at it. Oh, right. So, no, it just feels like it's become a case where it's almost like, you know, you've got this inbuilt, you know, fan base, and it's like, it feels like all he has to do is just bring them in. They don't have to be them, they just have to look like them, and he can make them sound like however he wants, and depending on what story he wants to tell. Which, if anything, is lazy, because it's obviously not only because I saw a video of him explaining that kind of scene, like explaining the Phantom Menace around a table, like a whole bunch of them just nodding their heads like they actually understand Star Wars. They don't understand jack shit. All they care about is, you know, leeching off the IP. Oh, I just right. It's just got to, you know, put that cowboy hat. You know, it's got to conceal that big brain of his. You know, right. So yeah, it's just. I mean, on my initial view, I gave this, like, what was it, 6.5 stars out of 10. That's wrong. like out of like 5 stars, if it was on Letterboxd, if they let TV shows on, I think they've let some, but they did have Kenobi on there at one point. I don't know if it's still on there, but if they had Ahsoka, it was like, based off the first 2 episodes, it should be like a 2 out of 5. But I know that Anakin's going to be brought into it, so that nostalgia is going to make me feel good. And, you know, Ray Stevenson, like, his character, not me. He's a good. I mean, obviously, you know, it feels like, sorry, you know, he's saying that because he's died. But the thing is, he might be, but he could end up being one of the more interesting characters in the show. I mean, it's still lazily written without, you know, much going for him, but his acting's good, and at least he's showing some personality, because everyone else literally is show. Right, I have to say, I mean, as for characters that actually show more personality or characterization, I would say Sabine, you know, did in the beginning, and they just had to go and ruin it by giving it the SJW haircut. So I was like, look, before, like, I don't mean to sound sexist or all that, but it's almost like, you know, why? Like, I have no problem with, like, strong female characters. Like, it's just like, so it's, like, the problem it's the fact that they're all kind of a bit samey. If you know what I mean, it's almost like they're written by people that don't understand what a strong woman is and what makes a strong woman or the woman, and there's good examples, but they don't like them because they're too feminine, and the people writing them are probably not don't see themselves as that feminine or just like threatened by the very idea of femininity. So you've got people like Kathleen Kennedy that have almost kind of just got to make these female characters, less attractive as possible, more masculine because they don't consider femininity like, they don't think that's strong or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in their heads, but what is that? Sorry. Even the arm, even the flipping, armor. Something about the armor looks off. Like, what is this? Right. Did you just call me by the wrong Mandalorian name? It's like, what is this? I shouldn't look terrible, but it's almost like why couldn't you just have her hair in a bun or something? Because I could understand if she had to cut her hair short because of her helmet, but I know Bo-Katan has short hair, but it's almost there is such a thing as tying it up. So I was like, what is it? What is the problem with making these female characters look, like actual women? Like you see here, her hair doesn't look too bad here because if she clearly looks feminine, and her hair's short, but not too short. I don't want to feel like I'm basing this whole series on how long her hair is, but if we're going to talk about characters like Hera, it's almost just from that first trailer, I knew something was going to be off. Oh, let's keep this relevant to, pops as well. But I don't know if I'll get this, but that's the point. Even the pops are on decline as well. But look at this. Sorry, don't remind me of Reva. Rebels pop. Right, so and Grand Admiral Thrawn is supposed to reappear. Look at that. This is obviously the old Hera pop. I've seen this at Comic-Con. Right, so I have that one. Funny enough. So yeah, Thrawn is supposed to return, and even he doesn't look how he's supposed to. Here he looks like he should be. He's like Grand Moff Tarkin after he. So I'm gonna stop tapping after he went through the Widowmaker treatment. Oh. So yeah, I didn't pick this up at the time. I wasn't really that keen on it. And they were as in I thought the pop looked great, but I didn't check out Rebels, and I didn't want to feel like I was collecting stuff for every single. I felt I don't even know how to speak. It's almost like I couldn't, because I hadn't seen Rebels. I didn't want to feel inclined to buy stuff for every single Star Wars show or whatever. But obviously, I ended up. Sorry, it's late. But obviously, I ended up getting Thrawn at least, just to say I had a pop from Rebel. Pop. You know what's also lost the plot? Why is he trying to make her flipping Gandalf? Just admit you want to clap those orange cheeks. Flipping out. So it's destroyed by her own creation in more ways than one. Creator, sorry. The Filoni is slowly destroying his reputation. So let's look at Filoni. I don't really want to look at him, but you know what I mean. I'll show there's a picture of him next to a cosplayer. Why isn't it coming up? This was not working. To say that again. At least he's wearing a different hat this time. There you go. Here's this. Yeah. Sorry. I'm gonna be careful not to laugh too loud. But yeah. As for Ahsoka, it's almost like this. Just I know this is like an older version of her, but it they're trying to give her like god level intelligence. By her just looming around and being Indiana Jones at one point. It's just it's not. I think the thing is, I don't think Ahsoka is necessarily boring as a show. I think it just makes like full sense. And even at the beginning, I was like, "What the heck?" And it's just and the acting is kind of questionable, but if you've got like that kind of deep attachment to like the characters they're based on, and it feels like you are being exploited through nostalgia. It's just one big massive puppet show. It's almost like it's just another case of cameo, well, more than cameo, but Ezra Bridger. Actually, that's the point, because I was what do I really want to Google Jabba the Hutt right now? Let's look at the Ahsoka Funko Pops and just look at the comparison. Oh, sorry, this is going on a bit of a tangent, but just consider this a bit of a random video, why not? Where is it? Why did I just type in Ahsoka Funko? Oh yeah, I remember why. Sorry, I couldn't remember why. I was like, why am I doing that? That's the new Hera part. It doesn't look too bad, does it? But I don't know how different her costume is. So, I don't know. Is there like one with the box? No. It might be cheaper for me to just buy the £5 keychain. I don't even know if I have a lot of space. But at the same time, I'm thinking about getting a chopper though. That's the thing. There's the keychain. Oh man, it's exhausting. Star Wars is just exhausting in general, isn't it? At least get that for Filoni on Valentine's Day. But what's going on? This is what she should be. She should be a Force ghost, without any training whatsoever. Like, doesn't she? She does appear as a ghost at the end of, her voice anyway. And why couldn't they have just had like Ashley? What's her name? I know obviously she probably doesn't have the right physique for it, but they got what's her name back. Just like I'd literally rather have her like as Ahsoka, like in live action as well. At least she'd sound like Ahsoka, and even if the lines were a bit kind of stilted or whatever the flipping word is, at least she'd obviously she wouldn't talk like her, but at least she'd sound like her. But just anyway, I'm just fed up of Ahsoka now. It's almost like have they got like any more stories to tell? Like usually I'd say, let's expand on the characters like they have, rather than creating new ones in a way. But at the same time, so I was like, could you? But that's my point. Like explore the characters that haven't already got like enough character development or whatever. Like, I mean, Boba Fett might be a good example, because like in the original trilogy, he barely has any lines or whatever. It's just like, I know obviously his background is explored in the Clone Wars, but we're talking about expanding on Boba Fett's already established character in the original trilogy, like continuing on from that, and then the Book of Boba Fett just messes it all up. Like again, like all these shows, like want to change the characters either for the better or the worst. And when it comes to the male characters, it's always for the worse. And for the female characters, they think it's for the better, but it's for the worse for them as well, because it just comes out as like, what comes across like really flipping embarrassing, like just absolutely embarrassing. I'm not going to click on workout, don't worry. But then again, at least she could work for it if she wanted. And then obviously they just wanted to choose someone else, because of course they did. But yeah, not that she's. There you go. Rosario Dawson is bad or anything, but I'd rather just have the OG, you know, someone that actually understands the character rather than someone that's obviously just wants to just leap to it. I don't know how much she knows about the character. I don't want to make like these wild assumptions or presumptions or whatever. But it's just sums it up. Mouse Corp. Or was it Mouse Corp? I want to say Mouse Corp. But yeah, literally just fed up of it now. Just fed up. But is there anything else I want to say about Ahsoka? I mean, yeah, David Tennant's probably wasted, isn't he? In this. Well, I can't even pronounce it. And why have I messed it up? I can't pronounce. Star Wars. Here he is. What the? I've got a question. Where did she fish him out from? Like, if he was like a Jedi droid, like, did she just... Yeah, it's just another case of them obviously wanting to bring Clone Wars stuff into it. It's just... I know it makes sense, but... They're really, like... Trying really hard now, aren't they, to... His member berries. You know what? On that note, let's end this video off with Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka. I try not to bring up any dodgy fan art. Yeah, just these just the glory days, isn't it? Yeah, just in some cases it's just like Ahsoka, I just want to quit as well.